Hey everyone, I have a really important topic that we have to discuss today because it's something that doesn't get talked about enough. And it simply is, how can you tell if cheating is emotional abuse and how to decide if you can stay? All right, I'm Beth Miller, and this is an important topic. And there's one key thing that really needs to be talked about and discovered in this whole discovery of, is it emotional abuse and what to do? So, like I said, Beth Miller, I am a marriage coach, manifestation coach, and certified trained hypnotist, and I've helped hundreds of women heal from betrayal, repair their marriages so that they feel so much better, free of the ruminating thoughts. They've been able to rebuild trust. So, let's get into it today. If you want some support, if you're like, you know what, I just need a couple of quick tips or some advice, put the word chat or DM us the word chat and we're happy to set up a quick call with you. So let's get into this because this is a really, really serious topic here. If you have any questions, put them in the chat below as well. So, when is cheating considered emotional abuse? Whew, because physical is so obvious, right? Physical, there's bruises, but when it comes to, or there's marks on your body, there's anger, there's a lot going on with that, a lot more intensity. But when it comes to emotional, it's your heart. And you can't see your heart was broken. You can't feel your stomach sinking. You don't have the same sleepless nights. If like that's all part of this. And so is that emotional abuse or is that something different? So when it comes to cheating and emotional abuse, it comes down to patterns. So number one, is there patterns? One of the first patterns to really look at is deception, gaslighting. And most of you would say, yeah, of course, there's deception and gaslighting in my relationship. So, how do we know if that's emotional abuse? So, deception, gaslighting can be continuous lying. It can be made to feel like you're crazy for asking questions. Another one is blame shifting. This is a really important one, too. Not being able to take accountability, not being able to say, yeah, that was my fault. Instead, it's you did this. That is the blame shifting. It's all your fault. A third one is the the fact that maybe your emotions are being manipulated. You feel a certain way and you're being told or maybe controlled in a certain way to be like, no, this is dumb that you feel sad right now. That's dumb that you're scared. Your emotions are being manipulated or controlled. A fourth one is there could be a repeated pattern of betrayal. And so that was one that we can explore as well. So those four, do they all mean emotional abuse? Well, the key thing here is, what is the intent behind the emotional harm? Is there intent behind the emotional harm? And that's why it's so difficult to figure out the difference between physical and emotional because it has to do with the intent. Are they trying to deceive you on purpose, to gaslight you on purpose, to blame shift on purpose? Are they trying to control your emotions on purpose? And so when it's not emotional abuse, and that, yeah, this is a fine line. We're going to figure this all out together here. Is it because they're doing this from poor judgment? Is it because they're not communicating correctly? They don't know how to communicate correctly, so they're shutting down your feelings. Is it just because they feel disconnected? Is it because they they are, or even you have unresolved emotional wounds, trauma that are there that maybe is leading to what feels like additional hurt? Again, I'm not minimizing any of what feels like potentially emotional abuse. But I want to give you the characteristics here. It is deception, gaslighting, blame shifting, emotional manipulation, repeated betrayal, but then the intent, where does it come from? Is it coming from this intent to hurt, or is it this like, and this is where we have to be careful with this too, is are they aware that they're doing this and the intent behind it? And that's where the gray line is within this. Regardless of all of this, it comes down to you. And what do we do about this? Because it's not okay that you feel this way. So, what do we do? Because if it's physical abuse, what would you do? Would you stay or would you go? Instead, it's like abuse of the heart right now. So, my thought is here, let's get honest. Let's get honest about let's figuring out what to do here because only you can make this choice on what to do. So, things to consider. Let's get real about what we need to do. Let's get really honest about what needs to be done. And number one, people can change. Yeah. Again, like if someone hit you, do you wait for them to go to anger management class and then they maybe hit you again and then they hit less and they hit less and then they're better and then you stay because you see that they've changed? Same with the emotional piece here. Do they hurt you emotionally and then they don't hurt you so much, then maybe a little bit and then not so much and then a tiny bit and then they're better? So at what point do you throw in the towel or wait for them to change? It's something to consider here. So people can change, but change has to be real, right? And how do you notice the change? Is there consistent? Is it ongoing? Are they focused on understanding why they're doing what they're doing? Are they focused on understanding your pain, or are they just avoiding the consequences? And are they doing whatever they want to do, or are they really, really you can feel the energy shift between them. And so, again, it's very difficult because really, no abuse is acceptable. Like, in school, in any kind of relationship studies that we may have done, it's like, "Abuse, you're gone. Abuse, you're gone," right? And so this is why there's such a confliction there. You're like, "I don't deserve to be treated that way." That's why abuse really impacts somebody's self-worth, impacts their ability to feel safe, and it also impacts, their emotional stability because 'cause you're up and you're down. So, of course, if there's abuse, I think there's always take pause to whether it's step outside the relationship for a bit and whether it's time to see some of that change happen, or whether you feel like you can be safe with that, that you're not going to be in physical harm's way. Well, they can then do the changing. So these are all conversations to have with yourself or your therapist. I what I'm sharing here is for educational purposes only. It's not for a diagnosis. Um, and this is another thing I hear women say all the time. It's it's almost like too little, too late, but is it okay that he's taking his time? It's not an excuse that he's delaying it, but I'll tell you the truth, when it comes to a lot of the women I even work with too, it takes crisis to all of a sudden be like, "You know what? Things haven't been going well in my life for a while. I've been not happy, not confident, not feeling like people are hearing me or seeing me for years." But then crisis happens, like the infidelity happens, my husband cheats, and all of a sudden it just brings it to a head. I'm like, "I have to deal with it now." So things happen to us, not to us, sorry, things do not happen to us, they happen for us. In all this pain, there's something here that's gonna help you, something with your personal growth. And it's not okay, it's not fair that this is happening to you, but there's something here for you. And so it's taking him time. It's not an excuse, but like that, it can also, he may have been avoiding responsibility, avoiding facing feelings that have been really uncomfortable, whether it's him having to see how much he's disappointed you, how much guilt he actually has within inside him to have to talk about this. What happens is it can take crisis for someone to actually take action, which really is annoying, right? If they would just step up and realize, just tell me the whole truth, I will feel a lot better. Yeah, it'll hurt. Because one thing, it really does hurt because they know the story. They've been living this story for days, weeks, months, years, the infidelity, the betrayal. You're just finding it all out right now. And so it's going to be worse in the beginning. And that's what husbands need to understand. Anytime I counsel a husband, it's like, yeah, it's going to be harder for them right now. But they need you to be honest. They need you to disclose it all. And then it's up to them if they want to stay or go. It's not your responsibility to hide that stuff, that you need to be an open book and they can make the decision to stay or go. But they have healing that has to happen. So it's frustrating, it's unfair, but it's not your job to fix them. And that's when we have to make a decision. Do you stay or do you go if it's feeling like it's that emotional abuse, and have take the space so that they can become consistent and be get to a place where they're doing that ongoing repair within themselves to figure out why they did these behaviors. But often I do find when a husband does get to that place where they finally like have that aha of crisis, they do turn it around. There's many patterns where I see marriages that are better than they were before. All right, so people can change. Yes. Is it okay that it's taking him time? Yes. If it's okay with you, it is. But if it's not, then it's time to go, and that's okay too. We'll talk about going. Because what happens now, you get to set the rules. These are your rules. You don't owe him forgiveness unless you want to. I always say forgiveness is really important. If it's whether it's more of a freeing for you. Forgiveness comes when you've accepted what's happened. It's not okay, it's not right, but you're like, "You know what? I accept that he's hurt me. It's not okay. I'm not forgiving." Or not it's not saying it's okay that he's hurt me, but what it's doing is I'm forgiving that, you know what? I'm letting this go. So what it is, it's accepting that this happened to me, and then I choose to let it go. And because I can let it go, and then I forgive. But again, forgiveness is not saying it's okay that you did this. Um, Also set your own rules. You don't owe him to forgive. You don't owe forgiveness, but ideally, it's good to free yourself of that. You don't owe him any second chances, and you don't have to rebuild if you don't want to. This is all up to you, and that's where your control is. Often, fear gets in the way, and when fear's in the way, we get scared that we have that choice to leave. We want to. Sometimes our body's screaming at it. Other days it's screaming stay, and other days it's like go. It's such a roller coaster, right? And you have to choose today. Today, I choose to stay. Okay, so why would you even consider taking it back? If there is signs of emotional abuse there, why would you? So you might choose to stay in this. You might feel like you have to really talk to yourself. It's like two versions of you. The one that's like, go, you don't deserve to be treated this way. You have so much worth in this. Do not stay. He could do this again to you. The other voice is like, I love him. We have beautiful children together. We have plans. We have a future. He's made mistakes. And then the other voice is like, but he's lied to you. He's deceiving. He's he's gaslighting. The other voice is like, but I see he's getting better. And just conflict back and forth. So what we want to do is decide, which one's your higher voice. If the one that's like, what, we're gonna stay, but we're staying with boundaries. Or the other one's like, no, the higher self is like, we're gonna leave for a little bit, or we're gonna ask him to leave, or yeah, we'll figure out the rules then. But the rules are yours, right? And so why would you take him back? Well, he's no longer maybe minimizing the abuse or the betrayal. He's taking full ownership, no longer blame shifting. He's actively working on himself through therapy, self awareness, understanding, setting time aside to talk about it. He's maybe you're starting to see the man that you love beneath it. Like you're seeing this vulnerability, this part of him open up that you've never seen before that you thought was maybe possible. You're like, it's actually there. Because I think as wives, we always see the potential. We do. We have a gift. Like we see people's potential. And then what happens is when we see their potential, we sometimes hold them to that standard of, I know they can get there, but this might not be their time to do it. And often crisis has to happen before they get there. But we see their potential. Um, Most importantly, though, you want to not fear guilt, shame, or obligation to stay. So, last one. Let's see. You might not choose to stay. That's the reason you might not choose because it feels too little too late. You feel like too much trust is broken. You're emotionally exhausted. You don't feel seen, don't feel heard. And you know what? It's too much. It's too much at this time. And that doesn't mean you won't come back together another time, but that just means where you're at today. So you're not bad or weak for staying if you do choose to stay. You're not cold or giving up if you choose to leave. The question isn't, should I take him back? The question is, what does healing look like for me? What does healing look like for me? And so I'm going to leave you with that question. What does healing look like for me? And these are things to ponder about. And like I said, this is education. This isn't me diagnosing anyone. These are just things to think about that if you have a therapist or if you're looking for a marriage coach, reach out to us. Give us the word chat, CHAT, DM it to us or put it in the comments. We'll reach out to you. We'll set up a quick 15-minute call. We can give you some tips and some strategies, but we're here with you. This is difficult. This isn't easy. And the thing is with this beautiful community. So feel free to hop into our Facebook group if you're not there already, if you're watching on YouTube, or if you're on YouTube, feel free to subscribe. We have tons of women that are going through this. And unfortunately, like 23% of all women experience some sort of betrayal in their lives. So we're here creating more norms around this in terms of what's acceptable, what's not. You don't have to go. But if there's abuse, let's get the education to figure out what is your next step. All right, everyone. If someone hasn't told you today, you are enough, you are loved, and we care deeply about you. All right, have a good day.